Hello, and welcome to Anime Audio Commentary. Today I'll be commenting on Episode 2 of Konosuba Season 3. If you'd like to watch along, then start watching now. So that's something, Kazuma, he's been invited to recount stories to a princess, and given how some of the people reacted, it seems like he's not merely being asked, and should he screw up, there would be dire consequences. Oh dear. Yeah, I'm not certain that Kazuma dressing in traditional Japanese clothing in this setting would ingratiate himself to the nobility. I mean, if nothing else, they'd probably just think he's weird, which, they're not wrong. I have to say, I think they've really done it again with the opening music. I think I still like the second opening a little bit more, but this is, pretty darn good music too. And although the visuals, I don't think they've quite nailed the vibe so much as the second opening did. I like it. It's good stuff. So Kazuma's saying he needs to wrap something up before the princess arrives. That seems like tempting fate. I feel like something's gonna go wrong here. And maybe I'm just picking up on this for the first time, but it seems like the princess is going to them. And I feel like that's, maybe not a good idea. Speaking of not good ideas, Kazuma seemed to have invented, lighters. I recognize the lighter isn't exactly high technology or anything, but I feel like, maybe introducing this into this world is not a good idea. At least Kazuma has the presence of mind to prevent Aqua from just grabbing one willy-nilly. I mean, he kinda ruined it by saying, you have to pay for it. I feel like, Aqua shouldn't be trusted with fire. In theory, she is, seemingly the one person qualified to put out a fire more than anyone else. But at the same time, I think she's also the most likely to burn down somebody's house. Oh, Kazuma. Oh, oh man. This is what I've been missing. This is good stuff right here. Everybody is an absolute loser and they can't help but stab each other in the back. Oh wow. That's an improbable amount of doves. It's definitely better than Nature's Bounty or whatever that party trick was. I wonder how many skill points she spent on that, because it certainly is something to conjure a whole flock of doves like that. So I don't remember this guy's name offhand, but I'm wondering what he's gonna do. Like, it's natural he and Aqua are enemies, or at least not on good terms, but I'm wondering what's he gonna do about it. Because he is right in a sense, Aqua is obstructing his business. I guess that is a weird thing too, Wiz being competent. Because normally she doesn't do much and instead is just the victim of Aqua's banishment magic. Wow. That's a rather discrediting nickname. And you know what? Given what may or may not have happened in that movie I didn't watch, it might be accurate, you know. The dynamics seem to be a little bit different. Ooh. Okay. So I feel like you probably shouldn't trust that guy's mask, you know. Sure, he might be a business partner for now, but I don't know. But the idea of getting 300 million Eris, you know, that is a considerable sum of money no matter how you slice it. Like, what is that, like 8 figures? Ooh. You know, Kazma's saying, hey, ladies, you know what to do. I feel like they might know in theory, but, yeah, this is not good. Honestly, I think if Kazuma were thinking rationally, his best bet would probably be to just lock them in the basement, honestly. Because at least Darkness can sort of be trusted, maybe. But Aqua and Megaman, you know... And, you know, just thinking about this whole thing in its totality, what stories is Kazuma actually going to tell the princess, you know? Because I feel like all of them are discreditable in one way or another. Obviously, he would have to editorialize. Oh dear. Man. Oh... She's gonna have to wear a children's dress, isn't she? Oh, man. Yeah, you know, it really seems like there's not going to be any good option here. Like, this is going to be a disaster no matter how you slice it. I feel like even if Megaman and Aqua behave themselves, Kazuma accidentally will torpedo the whole thing. I mean, if Darkness says, like, guys, don't be rude, like, that's it. I mean, maybe Darkness is exaggerating, but with the threat of execution on the table... Ooh. I'm not sure what Kazuma's getting at here, that he'll have to move. Presumably to the capital or something if this princess takes a liking to him. I mean, that seems kind of unlike him. I would get the impression that he wouldn't want to move and uproot himself and do all that. I mean, he's got a pretty nice place here as it is. So I'm wondering if that was a strategic thing for Darkness to say that Kazuma's the leader of this party. You know, I'm wondering if that's sort of like a clever little bit to dip out on responsibility. Alright, so far so good. Aqua didn't do anything. Oh. Oh dear. Man, to openly declare that she would do her best trick, like that's... I don't know why I expected anything to go even moderately okay to begin with. I mean, this is on Kazuma at this point. He's gonna have to salvage the whole thing while Darkness wrangles the other two. Ooh. Oh dear. You know, Kazuma might get himself into a whole different type of trouble at this rate. Man, I feel bad for Darkness. Like, man. None of them can help themselves, and I guess the worst part is that Kazuma's acting affronted about this. I mean, I feel like he's jumping the gun. You know, sure he had his expectations and everything, but she hasn't had an opportunity to speak, and that's probably due to protocol, you know. Okay. Wow, that's not good for Aqua to just sort of kind of insult her like that. Like, hey, I've captured your unruly hair in this finger painting I've made. Okay, so it's a sand portrait. Now, I can only imagine that's like something where you like glue sand to a piece of paper or something, but I mean, they seem to take it as being of exceptional quality, so I guess that's good. You know, two wrongs seem to have made a right accidentally. Ooh. So, they know about Kazuma through Mitsurugi, which, for those of you who may not remember, Kazuma stole his sword. And, yeah, I feel like he's gonna have to try and spin this to sound a lot more honorable than he really was in that situation. Ooh. Okay, so, you know, at least he's sort of captivating the princess by being a more intelligent warrior rather than a straightforward fighter, I guess, but... You know, I think this is something Kazuma could work to his advantage. You know, I might not be physically imposing, but I can use my mind to overcome insurmountable enemies. Ooh. Yeah, that's unfortunate given what his real life was actually like. I guess now's the time to lie gratuitously. Now, you know what? I think this is actually a sort of a cunning thing, you know? Kind of bending the truth a little bit, you know? I guess what he's saying is correct in its essence, but... Yeah, you know, he's cleverly leaving out the actual key details, like I just stayed home and played video games. So I'm not sure if viewing his adventure card is a good idea here. So, I mean, sure, on the one hand, it's not remarkably impressive, but on the other hand, I guess aside from the lich skills that he mentioned, what would be objectionable about it? Wow. Imagine a scenario where Aqua refuses performing a party trick. You know, I feel like maybe Kazuma could spin this where, like, I've stolen knowledge from the enemy. You know, I feel like this is definitely something you can spin if you lie well enough. Alright, at some point, like, another shoe has to drop, right? And I guess this is it. How did Kazuma win? And I guess, he'd really have to explain that this was a battle of wits that he won here, He didn't exactly fight on even terms. Oh dear. Now I'm wondering, oh, he's not acquainted with the concept of manners, she says. That is, I guess that's probably a tactful way to put it. But I'm wondering, like, is this going to lead to a duel here? Like, is Kazuma going to have to prove his worth, I guess? Ooh. Man, so I guess they kinda got off lightly. But, man. Uh-oh. Oh, Megumin's gonna spoil it, isn't she? I mean, she would know the truth, right? And she hasn't caused much trouble, so surely now's the time, right? Ooh. Surely she wouldn't cast Explosion, right? Alright, well, maybe I'm wrong. Megumin appears to be displaying restraint. Okay. I feel like this is going to come down to a fight. I mean, to ask the princess to recant her statement, like, that's not nothing. So either she's, going to have to use a considerable amount of political capital, or they're going to have to settle it physically. I guess it's interesting that this is sort of, the first time the princess really speaks on her own. Oh. Oh boy. Yeah, fight's unavoidable now. I mean, I guess, good on Darkness for having some moral fiber. I mean, maybe she shouldn't have slapped the princess, but to catch a sword like that... Okay, I'm not sure I agree with Darkness that Kazuma has no obligation to explain. I mean, I suppose he technically doesn't, but maybe if the princess wants to know, he could tell her. Alright, at least he's taking the cue, but on the other hand, I feel like this is gonna backfire. I mean, obviously he intends to steal the sword from Claire here, but oh, I've got a bad feeling about this. He's gonna steal something else, and it's gonna go horribly wrong. I mean, at least Darkness is confident he can't succeed, because, why couldn't he? But at the same time, he might succeed a little too well for everyone's liking. I mean, the steal spell, like, he can target a person, right? He wouldn't accidentally steal something from the princess, right? Oh dear. I mean, I guess that is a remarkable display of skill after all, but, man, that's not a sword he stole. If that doesn't get him executed, frankly, like... Oh, man. You know, I'm surprised that everyone's just kind of on speaking terms. You know, I would have thought this would have boiled over. Man. And he wonders why everybody's cagey around him, like, as if you should even wonder. Like, it should be pretty obvious. Alright. Okay, so the princess is being directed to speak to him herself, which is, you know, kind of unusual to a degree based on the previous encounters. Okay, so she's apologizing. You know, that's good. And she wants to hear more adventures, which I suppose is good as well, but I'm surprised she's not apologizing for calling him a liar, but decrying him as a pervert, you know. I mean, I'm glad things ended up well, but I feel like they kind of glossed over that whole stealing business. Uh-oh. Man. So I guess Cosmo's a fish out of water now. He's going to have to hang out in high society. And he's certainly not prepared for something like that. I guess it's nice, you know, the princess has taken a liking to him, but... Man, this is a twofold problem. Cosmo's out of his depth, and what are Aqua, Megaman, and Darkness going to do without him to ground things? Oh dear indeed. Alright, well that's it for this episode. If you've enjoyed it, then by all means, tune in for the next one. See you, Space Cowboy.